Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scaleway Sessions. I'm Eli. I will be talking a lot today, while Diego does more interesting things. Yes, I am joined today by Diego. Diego, would you like to introduce yourself for anybody who's new to Scaleway Sessions?
Hello, I'm Diego. I'm a developer advocate, just as Eli is, here at Scaleway.
Yeah, so today Diego has some plans for things to build. We're going to be playing around with some AI models, I think. I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords and, the inevitable destruction of humanity that they are bringing forward to us. So we're just going to
Spare us.
hasten that. Yeah, we're going to hasten that today and try and get on their good sides by playing around with them on stream. So, Diego, do you have a screen share that you would like to, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Let me get things ready. But
Hmm.
yeah, first of all, this is not a professional stream of any sort about AI.
We're not
We're just,
experts.
yeah, we're
No, not
just
at all.
experimenting, and I think we're approaching this as developers that are new to this topic.
Hmm.
That's most of us, right?
Yeah. So, like, we've been hearing a lot about AI, particularly generative AI in the last year, obviously, has become a huge topic. I've got friends at Microsoft who are Copilot enjoyers. I've got people who are not at Microsoft who are Copilot enjoyers. And, as people who've been kind of not yet on board the hype train, what's the experience like as a developer trying to play around with these things? Not just as a consumer typing into ChatGPT, but like if I want to use these in my work, what's that like? So I think that's along the lines of what Diego has got prepared for us all today.
Yeah, so the idea was to have an instance. So Scaleway, is a cloud provider and offers a lot of different services. Among them are the GPU instances that are basically virtual machines that are connected with a GPU. The plan was to have something ready, up and running. However, for some reason, I can't SSH into the virtual machine that I created before. But I guess that's going to be a new learning experience because we will walk through that setup part as well. So let me share my screen and we'll do that together.
Yep. Learning in public, man. Stuff goes wrong
Yeah,
all the time when you're building things. Trying to pretend otherwise is disingenuous. So let's be honest with our beloved
exactly.
viewers. Right. Should I see? I'm running the
Not
stream today.
yet.
Okay,
Not
good.
yet.
I'm
Because
running the stream and
also,
I'm, you know,
also my monitor started acting up just today. So yeah,
it's
this
been one of
is
those days. I think maybe the AI is cursing us. Like it's reaching back into the past and has said, no, you know what? So I don't know. Maybe we are not welcoming our new AI overlords, but in fact, uh, they're struggling against us.
that may well be. So yeah, I'm trying to figure the monitor setup now, and I think I got it now. So yeah, I have my regular monitor in front of me, and my laptop is there. So
Hmm.
I need to look down, and I can't quite open the lid, so I need to
Yeah, when last
wipe
time
the
we were doing
screen.
coding on stream, I rearranged my entire room in order to have a setup, and I was using not a monitor but a TV, which is not great to stare at very close quarters. So the hardware sagas continue.
Now I get why people use two monitors.
Yeah, yeah. You want to be like have 8 monitors all in front of you and look like you're in the middle of like a some sort of spy back room.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, we're up and running. Well,
Right. So
one part of
this
it's up
is
and running.
yeah, at least. So this is the Scaleway console, and over here in the create instance page, where I can select the availability zone. So we have availability zones in Paris, Amsterdam, and Warsaw. And
Hmm.
then I can select the type of instance. So I'm gonna select GPU, and then GPU instances are available in Paris too. So I will switch to that availability zone. And then here I can select the GPU that I need, GPU that's using an NVIDIA 3070.
So if I
Then,
was going to stand up like my Minecraft server and have all kinds of shaders and things like this, this is what I'd want to be using. Got that big beefy graphics essentially.
I'm not sure if the processing of those graphics is done in the server. I would say it's done in the
Oh,
client side, right?
oh, yeah,
The
no, that's a good
server
point
should
actually.
be able to just process
So I can't use
data
this for
flows.
my Minecraft purposes, is what you're saying.
I mean, you could, but you probably would be
I can get
wasting
away with something. Yeah, I'd get away.
resources.
I could
Yeah,
apply
right?
FinOps and end up saving some money. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe you go with the cost optimized version. That
yeah,
may be cheaper.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or if there's a Stardust instance available, you get good performance for that task, depending on how many plays you will have on your server.
Mm.
But yeah, then we have the GPU OS, so we can have different images. This one is actually a QEMU image. All of those are QEMU images that are preset or pre-populated with the drivers that are needed, in this case for running the GPU. Then we can add volumes, blah, 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 blah. Let's add a name. So this will be a GPU learning in public. Lowercase, just to make it consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the SSH keys added. And now I can click on create instance, and I'm not allowed. Okay, so I have way too many instances created here. So yeah, let's kill all the old instances that we used to have here.
This is
Because
real
we
like
are limited.
cloud development. It's when you realize that you've hit your quota and you can't do anything anymore, and you have to go and clear out your.
Yeah,
You have to
well,
destash.
yeah. In your case, as a regular user, you won't be blocked by the system. This is an internal account that's for some reason limited.
Yeah, this
Just
is
you do that well.
the opposite of getting like having an easier time because you work for the place. It's in this case, yeah.
Yeah. Now let me get my IP, and I will SSH into my machine. Oh yeah,
I absolutely love that background. That's just me at any given moment.
exactly my day to day.
Oh, so thinking about AI and stuff. So I was recently at, I mentioned this last week, I was
Yeah.
recently at Go to Amsterdam, which is a great conference run by, it's sponsored by a company called Trifork, and they organize it. And one of the things I did there was attend a roundtable about what people are doing with AI in their workplaces, and sort of everyone go around and talk about, are you using Copilot? Are you using, I think Otter is one that's used for like live video transcripts, and that's really very cool. Actually, you can I think the platform has an offering where you can train it specifically on your voice as well, and so it'll pick up your particular quirks and foibles of pronunciation. And that's really very cool because more things should have subtitles. We don't have subtitles on this stream just because we're kind of not, we're beginners at it, and we're not very sure, just kind of throwing things together at this point. But eventually that would be something that would be really nice to have. And that seems like a really good application of AI, actually, a very specifically defined task to be done very, very quickly, where it doesn't have to necessarily be perfect, or it doesn't have to be the best version of it. It just has to be good enough that, it will generate you some subtitles, and then a human can go through and tighten them up afterwards, perhaps.
Indeed, I actually have used OpenAI's Whisper for this.
Yeah.
And it's included in some video editing tools already.
That's
As a
very
plugin.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, especially for things that are going to not necessarily live. I mean, Otter, I know, has been used for live transcriptions at conferences, and it's done quite well with that. But especially for something that's like a YouTube video that's going to stay up after the fact, and you have the chance to have a human go through and just double check everything, make sure that everything makes sense and that it hasn't confused, that the AI has not spit out something that doesn't match what you're actually saying.
Right.
That could remove so much like busy work for a human, or do the heavy lifting. I think that's a really cool use case for machine learning. Right? Are you in Hacker Voice? I'm in.
Amen.
I'm in.
Right. Yes. So I'm inside the GPU instance, and as you can see, I can run. Let's actually make this bigger, maybe not that much, or we can adjust this. There we go. I can run NVIDIA SMI to get some information about my current GPU. So it's there. It's recognized by the whole system. Okay, so what I had in mind is running our own ChatGPT inside this machine. So the goal is to have a private version of ChatGPT that's using another model. And for that model, I found that there's an interesting one called Falcon model. Falcon model, yes.
Are you going to get loads of listing? I was going to think like loads of listings for like sort of Warhammer model type, like little falcons, like the birds.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
also
Hugging
for
Face. Okay, yeah.
yes. So Hugging Face is the GitHub for AI things nowadays. So this is where most of the models are hosted. So yeah,
And it's also
there's
open, as in you can take that and use it.
yes. So I'm not sure if this is the actual Falcon model that I've been
I think that's
talking
just a
about.
blog post about it.
Yeah, Falcon Institute. Yeah, Technology Institute. Yeah. So these people created this foundation model called Falcon, and they open source it. And the information that this foundation model is trained on is also accessible, so you can check
That's very cool.
which
Yeah,
data was used for
because I
it.
mean that's one
Yeah.
of the big questions about any machine learning model, right? Is what did you train it on? Was that data? What was the bias in that data? Because you'll never have bias-free data.
Yep.
There was a that I one of the things I've been doing over the last week is reviewing proposals for PyCon UK because I'm on the organizing committee for that this year, and we've had a few really interesting proposals about how can you make sure that like bias in your data is acknowledged, removed to the greatest extent
Yeah.
possible, or at least isn't going to detract from what the model needs to do. So if you're training your model to specifically catch errors in like some sort of grammar checking thing, it's fine that you're only focusing on one language, or perhaps the most sort of you're not focusing on dialects of that language, for example. That's a bias that's acceptable. But
Right.
training it only on, I don't know, to pick a really obvious one, writings written by people of a particular gender, you wouldn't want that. Yeah, like if you trained it on the classical canon and it's just all guys, all male authors or something.
Yeah.
But
White
yeah,
people.
so or exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the fact that the data's open is very, very cool as well.
Indeed. Yeah. And also for uh, making sure that your creations are not being used without your consent,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not by using this model contributing implicitly to theft of people's copyrighted or intellectual property.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So this is a foundation model, and what that means is that this is ready for people to add more information on top of it to make it work. So it's a general purpose model. What I found then is that some people at this company called H2O AI have implemented some stuff on top of this. So H2O, and they have the H2O GPT, which is this chat interface where you can ask questions. Like, let's try something simple. What's the meaning of life? and it gives me an answer. Yeah, I like to
Interesting.
find out by myself, so I won't read it.
Yep. Have you heard Elon Musk has started a new AI company seeking to understand the universe? Good luck, mate. Humans have been trying for that for 200,000 years or however long we've been around. Computers are not going to make it easier.
You know, I just this morning I was thinking back in the day when Kim.com was the only crazy tech billionaire, things were
Mm.
better. I like those days.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Ah, comforting myself with the fact that there are genuinely very cool ML use cases, and that just because AI is the current subject of choice for all of these grifters doesn't actually mean that the technology itself is not worthwhile.
Oh no, definitely it is. It is, and I
Yeah.
think this is going to be a life changer for all of us.
Hmm.
Uh, we just need to
Use it properly.
learn,
Yeah.
learn about it, and then use it properly and empower what we are doing and reach new goals and
Yeah.
extend
Just, I
our
mean,
reach.
going back to the subtitles example, the ability for people to generate those without, obviously there's like, I think machine translation is a whole other thing where like you don't want to be putting human translators whose job that is out of work. I think there will always be a need for that. But just subtitling, making that accessible to content creators, and thereby making their content accessible to more people.
Yeah,
That's awesome. We should have more of that.
yeah. For instance, conferences when they can't, for some reason, pay for interpreters.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's
Awesome.
a
So,
good use.
what do you know? What extra data these folks have put on top of the Falcon model?
Yes, so they have some information about it on Hugging Face.
Ah.
And they have trained this on HTOGPT chatbot. Uh, oh, yeah, this is an example. No, I want to see the models over here. Yeah. This has been trained with the dataset Open Assistant.
Ah,
So
that's
it's
very
a
cool.
dataset made for a chatbot that's going to answer questions. So
And
yeah,
I guess you
it's
can also be over time you could be collecting, if you wanted to, you could be collecting inputs from people and like the kind of conversations that they're having with it, and you could reincorporate that back into training data to continue refining your model, I guess, over time.
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
can fine tune it
Yeah.
on top of what the fine tuning they have done. You can
Hmm.
continue to fine tune it and add more
Yeah.
information. So yeah, this is the H2O GPT model created by these folks based on the Open Assistant dataset in
Hmm.
English that accepts 2048 tokens
Hmm.
as an input. That's similar to ChatGPT's 3, I think, 3 or I can't remember. But yeah, there's a limit on the tokens that you can add in a prompt
Right.
and based on Falcon.
And that's words, right? That's this distinct words.
Sort of.
Some
So
kind of
tokens,
parsing. It'll do some kind of parsing and it'll get out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So that counts as words sometimes, but also as permutations or combinations of letters.
Yeah, like certain prepositions in English are
Yeah.
technically multiple words, but they have their oh, there's a linguistic term for this and I can't remember what it is. But yeah, things that meaningful globs of language.
Although could be wrong, and if someone watching live would
Yeah.
like to add information on top of this or just correct us,
I
please
mean,
do.
natural language processing is you can spend your whole life learning that, yeah, and studying that. I've got a couple of friends who are in machine translation and NLP spaces, and it's, you know, yeah, it gets really philosophical, which I love, obviously.
Yeah, it is cool, really cool, and we had to start. You are right, and I, for sure, I'm not an expert. I don't know the answers to all of this, but as a developer, I think I can make this work, and then get inspired and get more ideas on what to add on top of this. And then if I see something working, and that's my way of thinking, if I see something working, then I can go back a couple steps back and learn what got me there. What was the technology that got me there?
Yeah.
That's my motivation. If I just
Whereas
start learning the foundations of the algebra behind this without the actual result, I'll get frustrated and I'll not continue.
whereas I'm the other way up. I like to learn bottom up, which means it takes me forever to actually get to building things, but I learn a lot along the way.
Yeah, that's another approach that I used to follow, but then I just got stuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so there's a lot of documentation on what you can do, and this is they offer code that you can actually use to make this work with your current application, for
I
instance.
love worked examples. I love
Yeah,
code samples like this. They're just, yeah.
but we are not going to code, at least for now. We will follow the getting started guide. And for this, they tell us that we need to install the CUDA drivers. So CUDA drivers are different than the usual gaming drivers that you install on your computer. They somehow allow your system to access your GPU and make it compute
Right.
differently, blah, 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 I don't know.
Yeah, you're using the same sort of computing power, but in a slightly different way than
Yeah,
the gaming drivers will want. Yeah.
different abstractions. Yeah. So I know that I need to go to the TLDR install. So I need to clone the repo, right? Of course, I'll have Git available here. Yes, it's there. So I can Git clone it. And then from what I read, it's a good idea to install Anaconda.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to get you nice Python environments,
Yes.
you know,
So you're the Python
isolation.
expert
And
here. Should I
I've
use
not,
a system
I
package?
haven't used Conda, I haven't used Anaconda actually myself very often. I've used it a couple of times. I'm a virtual env guy. You install Python 3.10. There's like a Python 3.10 like dash venv, and then you can make virtual envs. There's like an extra step you have to do.
Right.
But yeah, you're gonna want. It says Python 3.10 specifically on that README, so you're gonna
Yeah.
want that. And then
Right. I
right,
downloaded the package. I'm guessing I
right. So
need
you're doing Anaconda, yeah.
yeah.
Cool. I'm probably gonna learn something here as well then.
Well, hopefully this will work.
Yeah.
I'm making this executable, and now I can execute it. Blah blah blah. License, of course, I'm gonna read it. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Standard. You read very fast.
Yeah. Do I wish the installer to?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Right.
Not found. Honda. It's there.
Conda create looks like.
All right. So yeah, let's create an environment inside the repo. Conda create H2O GPT.
Right.
HP the environment. HP equals Python 10, 3.10.
I don't know if you want ooh. So if you've done package not found. So putting in H2O GPT there is telling it that it wants you to install that package.
Right.
And I don't know if that's what you want right now. I think you just want to do that.
Like this?
Yeah. It's not like Python. It's not like virtual environment where you need to give it a name.
Okay. Oh, well, yes. And activate root. Wait, this created it in the root folder.
That's where you are you not?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Root, then.
Don't do this at home, folks.
Where is it?
Yeah, that's just where you are. Right. So yeah, that's the same as doing like user bin activate for Python VM, which I always just alias immediately.
Do I have a bin folder? No.
No, it's under
Oh,
H2O
Python.
GPT. Yeah.
Python
So
3.10.
the executable you have there is actually just Python 3.10. That's what you've called it.
It's a folder.
Yeah, but that's actually, I shouldn't say it's an executable. What you do is you do conda activate, is see the comment just above.
Just conda activate, okay.
Yeah, conda activate that, the name that you gave your environment, or the path, and now you are in your virtual environment.
All right. Okay, thank you. Now, apparently I need to do this.
Yeah, although now because you're doing conda, I don't know if it wants you to do pip. I don't know if there's like conda install.
But if I haven't, well, this is a new environment, right? Shouldn't be here, so.
Yes, although I don't know if conda virtual environments want you to use the Anaconda installer, because there is a thing, right? There is an Anaconda installer. So we've taken on an extra learning step here, which is using conda.
Oh, there we have the information about the CUDA drivers. Okay. Basically, copy this. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sure. I'll paste everything.
And this is making system level changes, so it doesn't matter that you're in your virtual environment for this. Yeah.
Duplicate, move files, install, copy keys, update, and install. Okay.
Yeah, conda install is how you do it in a conda environment, not pip install, I believe.
Yeah. So those are two different package managers, right? So this over here is using the requirements file,
which will be part of the repo, I assume, that you've just cloned and you're now in.
And it's using pip.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you know what?
Maybe it's going to fail at some point because you're in a conda environment. I don't think it should, though. It's interesting that you got errors there, skipping pandoc because it's not installed when what you told it to do is install them. Yeah, strange.
Yeah, and I use pip.
Oh, you did pip uninstall.
Uninstall, yeah. It was like a cleanup.
Oh, yeah, then you're fine. Sure, okay. Right. I wonder if they've got like modified versions of those packages that they are using for this particular
it is possible, yeah.
use case. And that if you've got them installed on a system level, it wants you to wipe those within this environment.
Oh, there you have it.
Aha, yes, there we go.
Yeah, we should have started with the getting started.
Yep, that's fine though. Okay, yep. So you just do conda install, you just do that last line of those because we've already done the equivalent of the first two lines.
So it's downloading the CUDA repo. That's almost 3 gigs.
My goodness. Wow. Yeah, one of the things I have on my to-do list in all of that massive spare time that I have, right, is work through the Linux Foundation has a bunch of courses on like ML foundations. And that sounds like right up my alley in terms of learning the foundations that will unlock for me doing things. Learning to actually use this. I quite like the idea of having like my own little home assistant running off a computer just in my house that gradually learns all my idiosyncrasies over time and can send me notifications being like, it's 10 p.m. and you didn't go outside yet today. You should really do that. Your brain is going to be miserable, and make me like go and like take a walk or whatever. Maybe not 10 p.m. In the summer, that's fine. In the winter, that's going to be very much not fine. I live in Sheffield and it gets cold. But some sort of assistant to help me with all of the things that I struggle to do as a human being. I think that would also be a really cool AI use case where it's like it doesn't need to be that smart. It just needs to make up for all the ways that I'm not.
You know what? It's a good project.
Yeah, I'd like to do one as well with like generating knitting patterns as well. Like that's a cool generative thing that I think you could do, like spitting out, like you give it a bunch of like a Pinterest board or something and say, I like these designs, create me a stitch pattern that looks like this using these techniques or something like that. I think that could be really awesome.
And do you know if there's any model that already does similar things?
I don't, but I feel like there's such a huge overlap between the coding community and people who do yarn crafts. I'm off to EuroPython next week, and I posted on Mastodon saying that I was doing this, and one of the things that I was excited to do while I'm out there in like the 2 spare hours that I have is go to a yarn shop. And somebody replied to me, "Hi Layla, if you're watching this," saying is a conferencing friend of mine who is also an incredible knitter. Like she is so accomplished with it, and she used to have a really active Instagram for it, and sort of showcasing all the beautiful things that she made, and like she was like, "Oh yeah, we've got to go yarn shopping together." There's so many people who love doing both of these things. I feel like that must already exist. If not, maybe I need to learn ML so that I can make it.
Yeah. And nowadays, so I've
Oh,
been interested in the AI and ML field for, I don't know, 5 years, for more than 5 years now.
hmm
Probably 2016, I started taking a look at this and being amazed by all the new things that were coming
hmm
up. Like remember the Go.
yes.
What's the name
Deep
of
Deep
it?
Mind. Deep Mind. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
then turned
beat
into
the human. It beat people at Go for the first time.
AlphaGo.
Yeah, and
AlphaGo. Yeah.
that was obviously Python as well. Like it's just because I've been a Python person for 5, 6, 7 years or something like that now. So I've obviously been around people who are getting into this, but I've kind of stayed away from it myself because I was doing other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen some really cool. A friend of mine gave a talk about, there's that model that can distinguish between if a thing is a cat or guacamole,
Yeah.
and you can perturb the images that it looks exactly like a cat to the human, but obviously by working backwards from the training data, or like by retraining, like by taking what the model says and reverse applying it to your image, you can make an image that looks just like a cat to a human but gets parsed as like 98% confidence of guacamole by the model. And I really like that as a demonstration of what these things actually do, and the fact that they're not parsing things like image models or whatever aren't parsing things like people do. They're
Yeah.
parsing things in a completely different way that's dependent on the way that we've encoded these images with our computers. And I just find that really cool. And again, the philosophical kind of things of like, well, okay, what does it mean for a picture to look like a cat or to look like guacamole? And how does that change when we take an image on a film camera and turn it into pixels? And what does that mean for the things that are then uh, interpreting those images in a completely unintuitive way to what we think of? And obviously, the
Yeah.
goal of natural language processing is to match those two understandings as closely as possible. But where it goes wrong can be very funny and very interesting. So,
Yeah, and indeed, there has been a lot of releases and changes. And as I told you, I've been amazed by this for many years now.
mm,
And I wanted to understand what's under the hood, the math, the algebra, the vectors here and there, and
yeah.
the stages. But it was too much for me at the moment.
Yeah,
And
you've got this whole thing of like, well, it's not linear because otherwise it just reduces down to a linear equation. You've got to do at each step, you do something like raising any negative values to zero so that you can add non-linearity. And
yeah,
sometimes this work, and even the researchers don't even necessarily know why. They just know that it does. It's this sort of very it reminds me of like early science, early scientific method stuff like alchemy or like early medicine, where it's like, we don't know why making your tools out of silver, or like your eating bowls out of like coating them with silver helps, but we know that it does, and it turns out it's because it's hypoallergenic, right? But it's the same thing of like, we found things that work, we don't quite
yeah.
understand why, but we're going to keep doing it and keep tinkering. I think that's a very cool stage for a field to be at.
Yes, and actually nowadays, for the general population, it may seem like AI just appeared this year or last year,
I mean,
and it's
the
completely
theory's been
new.
around for decades. Yeah.
Absolutely. And over time has become more accessible to the rest of us without actually knowing what's going on under the hood.
Yeah, which
And
is
I think that
scary.
this is an exciting part of it because it may be scary, but it's also an opportunity for humanity to grow and for
Yeah.
this to be democratized.
We hope so. And I mean, the fact that there are open models now, obviously we've got ChatGPT, but here's us building a thing that's just like that while not using data that's been stolen in a way that, yeah, that's really cool. I want more of this, please. Yeah.
At least without paying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because everything that we're doing here, everything that we are using is completely free.
Mm.
And as you can see, open source, we have the repo here. And I believe Falcon LLM also, yeah, should have their data available.
Hmm.
Right, so apparently we have CUDA drivers installed.
Fantastic.
Now I'm doing this because that's what the documentation said.
Yeah, there's a Python driver for this thing. Looks like to
Yep,
me.
apparently. Now let's check the Python version. Should be 3.10. 12, all right. And
Fantastic.
pip should be 23. Yeah, 23
Yeah,
something.
you can write case statements. You can write switch statements in your Python now. Python 3.10.
Oh
That's
yeah.
new in 3.10, I think.
All right. Now I need to do, well, I need to go to the CUDA.
3.11 is going to be a lot faster. They made a load of speed improvements to CPython. Yeah, which is that's the new hotness.
Okay, now I'll need to do this. So let's do it line by line. This will install requirements, and it can't find blah, 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 blah. Extra index URL, extra index.
Interesting.
Okay. I want to.
That's interesting. Have you not got? I mean, you do have Bash because you were doing it earlier. I wonder if it's. I can't read that error text. It's blurry for me.
Yeah. I want to use a different editor. Okay, let's use this. So the error comes here, I think. So it's the file name and then parameter. So I think it's missing a space. So it's dash dash extra index where the error is appearing. So let's look for that. Dash extra index. Yeah. URL extra index now. That's not it. Extra index. So apparently this is the file name, right?
Yes,
FIL.
you're looping over it. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's missing a space here.
Aha. Yes. Ah, we can make a pull request to that documentation.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe. I don't know if the docs are open source.
Yeah, they are. It's
That's going to be our thing. Is like just like hacking on stream and then making pull requests.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Docs are important.
And if it's only one space, that's easier for us.
Yeah.
But all the things that one missing space can cause, right?
Of course. Yeah. Well, one missing space if it's like I have a story which is, I can't remember if I've told this on stream before. Somebody I used to work with. It was a web platform that they made, and they had customers who built apps on top of this platform. And one time, this person was doing refactoring to some of the code that ran the apps, and he was copying pasting bits of chunks of code back and forth, whatever. And at the end of the original file, before this refactoring, there was an unclosed comment. There was an open trailing comment. That didn't matter because it was at the end of the file. But when you copy pasted and moved it up to further up the
Okay.
file, it meant that everything past that was commented out and you didn't realize. And so one of the customers called us like, why has my app disappeared? And it was fine. It was all totally fine. It was just that it was commented out. It was like nothing was actually lost, but I just thought that was hilarious. Like, incredibly experienced programmer, incredible builder, somebody who's been doing very complicated software for a long time, and this still happened. It's whatever the comment delimiter is in Clojure, missing that was enough. Or it might have been JavaScript, not sure, but yeah, just incredibly funny to me.
Actually, I remember something similar happened to me, and it was kind of the same situation. An open comment at the end of the file doesn't matter. The file stayed the same. However, I was using a tool to
Did it like
just
concatenate files together?
mash them together. So this file was combined with the rest of it, and all the other files after it will just comment it out. Yeah, it
That would be
happens.
so hard to track down if you're not like looking at that file in a text editor, where hopefully your linting will show you, oh, this is all green, it shouldn't be green, like the dull green that VS Code does for comments. And if you aren't looking at it, you're gonna miss that entirely. Yeah. Always close your comments, folks.
Yep. So here we are waiting for what are we waiting for? All the requirements to be
Yeah,
installed.
it's just thinking about it. This is a hefty driver for this thing. I guess that makes sense. It's a complicated bit of machinery.
Yeah, but it could be simpler. They could add a bash file to just automatically do this.
Yeah. I mean, this is an opportunity for us to improve the developer experience of using this tool.
Yeah, exactly. We are using it. Hopefully, you, viewer, will use it and contribute back. Maybe the space, add the fix to the space. Here.
This is the thing about like every time I start doing one of these things like for fun is I just get sidetracked instantly by other fun things. One day
You
I'll learn
never
to
finish
focus,
anything?
but it is not this day.
Yeah. So that's quite a lot of packages.
That is. I mean, a lot of it is saying it's requirement already satisfied, but yeah, it's still installing a lot.
Deprecated
So pandas, NumPy,
NumPy.
yeah, I'm seeing a lot of things that are. Oh, PDF to image, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you in an idea that I have for this in the future, and it is so you know that maybe you don't know, but people from different places of the world sometimes need permission to enter some other countries. Those are called visas, entry visas. As someone who's coming from Latin America, this is a reality. I need to check first if that country that I want to go needs me to have a visa beforehand. And there's a website from the government that will list all of the countries that you can enter without a visa and the ones that you need to request a visa beforehand. So I'm coming from Colombia, so I'm going to look for that visa. And there should be page for that. Not here. Oh, something failed. Okay, it can wait. Give me just a moment.
Uh-huh. I know enough Spanish to read that list of countries.
Yeah, exactly. List of countries. I'm trying to look for the list, but it's well hidden.
Yeah, I've had to do visas for the States and for Australia, but nowhere
Oh,
else.
really?
Yeah, only I've been to the States, I've been to Australia, and then I've been within Europe, and it's only sort of recent. Well, I mean, God only knows what's going to happen with Brexit and how we're going to start needing visas for the EU. I have no idea, but so far I don't.
Here it is. So as you can see, it's a website that shows a lovely PDF file.
Ooh,
The thing is that if you want to automate this, create an API, for instance, to quickly check if I'm able to enter that country without requiring a visa or not, I can't.
yep.
My goal is to somehow read through this file and then have an LLM tell me if I can enter or not. The thing is, I can use OCR, like regular OCR, optical character recognition, but this is not consistent. So these are
Right.
tables that are not consistent all the time. So we have spaces here, and then we have information here. And what I've so far, I'm not an expert in OCR. As you can see, I'm not an expert in many things.
Nobody
I,
is an expert on everything,
yeah,
and if they tell you they are, they're lying.
that's true. So here, for instance, the fields are larger, and this breaks the OCR calculations when you try to measure the start of a line, because the following line will start at a different pixel offset. So yeah, it's a mess using regular OCR. So yeah, this is a side project that I want to work on. And since we saw that this is using some PDF to something,
Something. We can give it a shot, certainly.
maybe not today, who knows? But this is a good candidate. But yeah, that's going to be my side project in a few weeks after the other side projects are done.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And actually, this thing wants to install Tesseract. So
Interesting.
if you're not aware, Tesseract is one of the most popular OCR tools out there.
What's the errors that you've got right at the end there in red?
The errors: could not open file, blah, 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 extra index URL, something HTML.
Strange.
So that's probably a link. Oh, this thing. I saw this URL over here.
Another missing space, perhaps?
File
Is
or
that the one you
directory.
fixed, though?
Yeah. I'm gonna power through.
Yeah.
Assume
If it's
that
bad,
wasn't
it'll
required.
yeah. If it's a problem, we'll find out later.
Yeah, we know where it could come from. But yeah, this wants to install Tesseract, LibreOffice, LibMagic, that's probably Image Magic, right?
Yep.
And Poplar, I don't know what that is. Do you know?
I do not.
So let's see what Poplar is. Poplar
Just
is a
making me think of
PDF
Doppler.
rendering library. All right.
Okay.
So this whole set of things is meant to do documents like Google Docs or Word documents, PowerPoints, archive. And then we have an optional for supporting unstructured package. Yeah, sure. I'll run that as well.
Yeah, that sounds. NLTK is natural language something. It's like corpuses of things. I've seen it before. I don't know what it is. I know kind of the area that it's in. NLTK is like
Toolkit.
there we go. That makes sense. I was like, I don't know what TK stands for. Yes.
It's a leading platform for building Python programs to work with human language data.
This is the natural language processing stuff. And look, they're talking about tokens in that sample code.
Not that, but this.
But yeah, I mean, thinking about tokenizing human language, it's something that as programmers we're already familiar with like parsing code into abstract syntax trees, right? Or for for non-compiled languages, or I guess even for compiled languages, you take your code, the compiler takes your code, tokenizes it, turns that into an abstract syntax tree, then can operate on that to make the machine do things. That's
Right.
how code works. And I guess this is applying that exact same idea to natural language to turn it into things that a machine can act on.
Maybe. I have no idea what I'm doing, as you can see from my background, my wallpaper. Right. So I think we're ready to run this. I hope. Let's give it a try. What I'm doing here is running the generate script with Python, and I'm going to pass the base model that we discussed before. So that's the H2O GPT using the training set
Assistant.
from OpenAssistant. That's using the Falcon base model. And I need to pass some parameters here. Prompt type human bot. Sure.
Oh, so base model, it doesn't want you to put in, it wants you to put in your path. Is that the path?
Yes.
Okay, that's
So
correct.
the name, and then it knows to
Yeah.
look for it in Hugging Face.
Right. Fantastic. Cool.
Yeah. So you have different models here.
It gives you an example. Cool.
Yep. LangChain, I don't know. We're not using LangChain. I'm going to try just to copy and paste whatever looks useful. Use safe tensors. Prompt type, I don't know. Just run this. I'm just waiting for the next error, and
Of course.
that'll guide us.
I remember my first job out of university, I was writing C code, and waiting for things to compile was very much like this. It was, it'll compile, it'll have an error. And obviously over time, as you get better at doing this, and working with a specific piece of code or whatever, you find out ways to make that compile loop shorter, the time to failure shorter and shorter. But
Time
it
to
could be
failure.
it could be quite long. Running all of the tests, the integration tests for the software that I worked on when I was working at this company, it would take half an hour, easy, maybe an hour.
Yeah. And what if it didn't fail? What if you didn't have an error? Did you
Great.
freak out?
No, submit the PR. Bang,
All
off to the
right.
races.
Well, in
No, I
my
mean, it
case,
would depend. It would depend. The first thing I would do was check that it was running on the code that I had changed. And check that I had actually, committed everything, and that I'd saved all the files, and that it wasn't check that it wasn't a false positive
yeah.
or
Yeah,
false
in my
negative, I
case,
should say, for a test failure. But
if it doesn't fail as I expected it to fail, then something broke. Something big broke.
one of my assumptions is wrong. One of them might be it's actually running over the code that I've written, and the other might be that I was wrong in the first place. I know which one I doubt more.
Right. So what is it doing now? Okay, it's downloading.
It's loading checkpoint shards, which sounds like, I don't know, we're playing Halo or something.
Hugging Face. So it's downloading the weights, probably. Yep. JSON file, then the binary files. And loading checkpoint charts. Yeah. Checkpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, but also shards. It's like, oh, I've got to my last checkpoint, and now I need to go and collect shards so I can level up or craft the ultimate weapon or whatever. Which may be what we're doing here with this AI. Crafting the ultimate weapon.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
as you can see here, it was downloaded from Hugging Face, and then it used the model name that we passed in, H2AI, and then the whole thing.
7BV3.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it is wild to me that, we grew
Killed.
up being told about artificial intelligence and, I don't know, reading Isaac Asimov, and now we're just kind of farting around on a live stream doing an AI model. That's wild.
So yeah, it was killed by your Halo reference.
Sorry.
I don't know. So my window is too big. No, not again. We know it doesn't work. It's core model, non prompt type human bot. Load 8-bit. So this is apparently the size of the chunks that are going to be passed to the GPU. So it's going to be split into 8 bits, 8-bit chunks to make it easier for the GPU to process it, I think. But I know that we can lower it down to 4 bits to make it even easier. So maybe not be as fast in the end, the whole response. But it should work, or should make it easier for the GPU to
handle what we're
handle
trying to
all
do
the
right
data.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we wait again. Fortunately, we had a checkpoint, so it doesn't need to download everything again. And it was killed one more time.
Is that like an out of memory error?
It doesn't say. I would have expected it to say
It just says
something.
killed. Let's
Unexpected error from CUDA get device count. Did you run blah blah blah? You know what? I'm gonna reboot.
Yep.
Because we installed drivers.
That's a good point.
Maybe
there's some changes that need to get picked up on boot. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
If in doubt, turn it off, turn it on again.
Yeah, exactly. Shall we go back to what the example of the running example of what we're trying to build? So this is
ask it how many prime numbers there are that end in 2. I love asking generative AI text models this. It's so funny. Specifically how many prime numbers?
Oh,
yeah.
I missed that part. Stop. How many prime numbers?
Spoiler alert for anyone who is confused. There's 1. It's 2. That's it.
The number of numbers that end in 2 is
the only 2 prime numbers are 2 and 3. I love that. Sure. This is one of my favorite questions because it's an example of something which shows that these models, what they do is they give you're basically saying, what would an answer to this question sound like? Not what is the answer to this question, but what would an answer sound like? So for writing, give me an example of an email asking my landlord to come and clear the gutters for me. That's great. If you struggle with wording stuff like that, a reasonable email that you could send sounds like this, and that's going to be good enough. But when you're thinking about specific facts, something sounding like an answer isn't good enough,
Yeah, and I'm telling it what I need to hear.
Yeah.
And then it's compliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what would it sound like if you corrected somebody about this? They would go, yeah, no, actually, you're correct. I stand corrected. Because these things have no personality, so they're not going to be like, no, actually, I'm right.
Yeah,
right. So
I'm back.
Conda activate Python 3.10, right?
Conda activate 3.10.
Maybe you didn't put the.
Where is it?
Oh, interesting. It didn't Python 3.10.
Right.
That's so strange. Yeah, it's call Conda info again. Conda info --envs, and let's see what it says.
It dies. Okay, it's there.
Oh, you need to put in. Yeah, I think you need to put
the whole
in
thing?
that.
Whole
Yeah,
path? Okay.
Maybe. I don't know why, but sure. Great.
So.
And now you should be able to go back to that exact command.
Oh. My history was isolated. Nope.
Yeah, no, the history when you're within the environment does not remain, I believe.
It's
I don't know.
fine. We need to run this model, and we want to use 4 bits. And then what else do we want?
Prompt mode or whatever it was human
Human something.
Yeah.
The score model. I also have that. As you can see, I'm not reading the documentation. I'm just doing a ChatGPT. I'm trying to make sense out of words.
Oh, it did say something. A note: if you download the model yourself, you can point base model something.
Oh yeah, but it downloaded it by itself, so it should know where it is.
If you download the model yourself, right at the last line, you'll need to specify the prompt type as well. So that's where you'll find the prompt type. So that's what you're doing here. Human bot, that was it.
Okay. Like that, yeah. Right. I don't know what that means.
It's just thinking about it. Yeah, we're back to the same warnings that we saw before, but that's fine.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any of these should be breaking it.
This may be
starting get model. And we're back to loading the checkpoint shards.
CUDA visible devices.
Unknown error due to an incorrectly set up environment. I wonder if this is that error we saw prior coming back to bite us.
Yeah, it seems like it can't see the CUDA devices. Oh, I think we missed quite a few steps.
Cool, okay, that's good. It's better that than us not having any idea where to start.
So let's wait for this to be killed by itself. Checkpoints. Right. So we missed creating environment variables.
Right.
And then activate an environment. And then reboot. So we rebooted without actually being required to do so by then.
Yeah, and then you should not need to reboot now. And you're already in that. Oh, did you deactivate?
Could not find the content environment H2. Oh,
that's because they've called it something different.
Yeah.
Are we? Yeah, no, you go back and you do the root H2O, whatever it was. Yeah.
Okay. Should I then just run it again?
I believe so. Go do that big long Python generate. Yeah, there we go. You'll need to set the prompt to human bot.
But I'm not sure because I didn't download it myself.
Okay.
It was downloaded by the script. So it probably knows where it's located.
Fair enough. I mean, you've got back to the same couldn't initialize the NVML, whatever that means.
Oh, look, H100s. So if you have multiple A100s and H100s, those are different types of GPUs, you need to do some extra steps. And you will be able to do so soon in the future using Scaleway.
It's been killed again. So interesting.
It was killed.
And it gave you the same CUDA error again.
Yep. We also missed this, so also installed this bytes package. The version 121. It's new. Oh, make. Wow. So we are building a package. Things will get easier soon.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you don't have to go through all of this as we have, and you probably will read the documentation a bit more. So yeah, your results will vary, definitely, and will be better. And I know this that I know things will get easier in the future because I have in the past deployed stable diffusion, and you have different implementations that just create the whole UI for you. And the only thing that you need to do is clone the repo, probably install dependencies, or not even that, just run the bash script that initiates everything, and that's it.
Right. It seems like it's finished doing the thing that you were doing.
No errors, apparently.
Yep.
No
Yeah.
errors.
Yeah. Nice.
So I need to go back. Should we reboot? What do you say?
I don't think so, because all you've done is you've installed a Python package here that you've recompiled from.
All right, let's give it a try.
So that gives you faster 4 and 8-bit training, which might help with whatever is causing that process to die.
Maybe.
I
Can't
wonder what.
initialize in VML.
Yeah, CUDA unknown error.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's dying because CUDA can't find, because after that error it sets the number of available devices to 0. So I wonder if that's.
Yeah, I think it's related to the driver thing. What if we installed CUDA drivers? Install, this is an Ubuntu. Driver installation.
Give it a shot.
Which branch?
Oh, I mean, see what we've already got.
The what now?
See, do we know if we've got a branch already?
And I
Like,
think this means like the branch of the drivers.
yeah, like, do we know anything about what's been
Oh,
installed by the process we've already gone through?
where is it? Was it here? CUDA toolkit.
CUDA 1.21.
Yeah.
CUDA repository pin 609. Is that what it says? Something?
What? Again. Right. Linux. Yeah. Should it do something?
No, I think you need to now select the architecture.
Oh. I wasn't looking at that.
It's Friday afternoon.
Then
And we are Ubuntu.
And then I don't know. 2204.
Ah, interestingly, so in the documentation we were just reading, it assumed 20.
Oh. Dev local, yeah. Okay. Sure. Why not? Now we wait.
I remember there was a problem I had with my work laptop in my previous job, and it was really hard to describe what it was. It was like the mouse would stop like working properly, the cursor would stop working properly, and it was this really strange intermittent problem that like suddenly I wouldn't be able to do anything other than use Chrome. Like it wouldn't let me click out of a Chrome window, all sorts of really strange, like haunted stuff. And I maintain that somewhere deep in the firmware of that laptop, a tachyon had come out from the sun and hit and flipped a bit somewhere. But the reason I'm telling the story is because the only way we could figure out to fix it was to just upgrade the Ubuntu to 20. I think it was. I went from 18 to 20. And
So
it
that was it.
somehow fixed this issue. There were other things that were really broken about that laptop. It was a Dell XPS that had Linux put on it. Would not recommend.
Oh,
You want,
really?
yeah, yeah. My home laptop these days is a Linux laptop, but it's made by Star Labs and it's like made for Linux, so it doesn't have these issues.
Have you seen the framework laptop?
Yes, and I'd really want one. I think
Yeah.
they don't ship to the UK at the moment, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
not sure if that's still true. That was true when I looked. Yes, a friend of mine has one and absolutely loves it.
yeah. I want to find the excuse to buy one.
Right?
I don't need a laptop right now. But yeah, it looks really cool. And the ability to just upgrade everything and you don't lose whatever main board
Yeah,
and
like
CPU you had. You
modularity.
just
It,
create
it
a, you
yeah,
can
yeah,
create a server, like a home server out of it, the hardware that you had, and just replace it with a newer version. So now you have two working computers.
yeah. I have it gives you like the sort of modularity, upgradability of with something that you'd normally only get with a big desktop.
Yeah,
But
it's cool.
if you're a laptop person like I am, then yeah, that's I've had a desktop in the past and really loved it, but then the motherboard died and I was getting all sorts of like it just wouldn't like it, I think something it wouldn't even load the OS anymore and I was like okay, I'm not going to rebuild this. I'm not going to take the motherboard out and use the components again in something else. I'm just going to go back to laptop life.
Really?
Yeah.
You gave up?
Yeah, I mean it was also I'd made it out of like secondhand parts and things like
Right.
that. So it was, you know, it was not the world's most expensive or best running desktop in the world.
You could have created a server out of it.
That's true. Very possibly.
So I rebooted because why not?
Can't hurt. I wonder what this can't initialize NVML error was that we were having. If we're going to get that again. Yeah, I'm going to Google that.
Let's Google that.
A restart of all the containers when it's running within its container. Generally means the CUDA driver is still running an older release. Incompatible with the CUDA toolkit version currently in use. Rebooting the compute nodes will generally resolve this issue, not in our case.
Nope. Not here.
Debugging live on stream.
Yeah, that's what you get when you don't read the documentation. But
Yeah, it's saying that it's a mismatch between the drivers and the toolkit.
then how do you fix that?
So let me find the couple bits of documentation that I saw. I'll send that to you. If I Slack these to you, will that work?
Nope.
Nope.
But you can use the chat over here.
Yeah, yeah, I'll just do that.
What if... Did we do this? I don't think we did. I think...
We missed another step.
this was the step that failed in the for loop.
Ooh.
What does this mean?
So that means that the versions are incompatible. It's like yeah, I'm not sure. So what's
But
the first? It says something Argilla. What's the first package? What's the first line of the red messages? The last two error messages. Argilla requires this behavior.
but
If
successfully
sends.
installed NumPy, so it worked in the end.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah. I think this is the part that failed in the for loop thing that we changed, where we
Right.
added the space. Because it has WHAL, CU, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, it might
7.
have not. It's still giving us that can't initialize NVML. That I think is what's killing us.
Yeah. Ooh. Try this. The driver service not found. Right.
Interesting.
I'm afraid to do this.
Yeah, right.
It's in use, right? Should
Interesting.
what's this?
I don't know what you're trying to do with GDB here. CUDA GDB.
I don't know. Is this Python?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't used GDB in a long time. So the other one that I sent has a thing where you can check the driver version.
Let's see.
Oh, the other one I've sent is Kubernetes specific as well. So some of it should
ECC
still be
version
relevant.
535. 53554.
Right.
Right, but
That doesn't help us necessarily until we know
yeah.
what we need to be running.
Yeah. Where's here. Getting started, we did this.
Yeah, we did the next stuff.
We did this. We did that.
Yep.
Yeah, we did this. Then we didn't do this because we jumped into a CUDA thing.
That shouldn't be giving us, yeah. None of this should be required for the thing that we are doing right now.
True. Or driver related. Yeah, and that was it. Base model, load 8-bit. Let's try 8-bit because why
It's
not?
giving you some errors. No such file or directory.
CUDA 11. So it's expecting to have CUDA 11.
535 and 11 sounds like those are different numbering systems.
Yeah.
That's probably referring to something different. Oh, you
See,
shouldn't have to be an expert in this
AutoGPT.
stuff to get up and running.
CUDA 11. Uninstall CUDA home. want to have to read through all of this.
Yeah.
And paste. Why not? Copy that, copy this. So if this doesn't work in
Found
the
an
next...
existing installation, and now it's doing something different.
If this doesn't work in the next 5 minutes, we
Yeah,
will
I think.
try something different.
Yeah, that's fine. No such file or directory.
For AutoGPT. Oh, but CUDA, blah, blah, blah. Here. Did not run successfully. CUDA visible devices. Seen any issues that mention that?
Try which NVCC. So that's where it should be looking, but it's looking in CUDA 11.7.
Do we rename it? Or do we copy it?
No, you need to make sure that the thing you're trying to run is looking in CUDA, not CUDA 11.7. And I don't know why it's doing. I think it's because we installed multiple versions of this package.
How do you check all the environment variables?
I would do pip freeze or environment variables. I would do
Env.
yeah.
Then we do grep.
CUDA, I guess.
NVCC.
No, it'll be grep CUDA. It'll be like CUDA dir or something. LD CUDA home user local. I think.
Wait, so
Yeah. So instead, call it CUDA home. Say if you change that to user local CUDA dash 11.7. And this is probably going to break all sorts of other stuff.
yeah, let's break everything.
Yeah,
Why
doesn't
not?
matter. And then dash 11.7.
11.7.
That should at least we shouldn't be getting the no such file found in this if you run that command again.
Still we need to update the path.
Yes.
And we're gonna update it like
And
this.
the LD
11.7. And then LD library.
Oh no, you typoed.
What?
Export.
What?
It's a knockoff Xbox. Export. And then the LD library path. That should.
Big things, yeah.
We will at least get a consistent kind of wrongness, hopefully.
Let's go with this. And where's my command? Here it is. It's thinking.
It's thinking about it.
Okay, same error.
So what was the thing you were doing before that got the no such file found? Was that this command? Or was that a different command? I think it was a more recent one than this.
True, yeah.
So, because that's the error we're currently on. And it was like installing a Python thing. That was why it was like no such file found.
Yes.
So if you go slowly through your history and we'll see if we can recognize it. This. Try that.
Install AutoGPT.
You know what? No, I don't know. Oh, that's infuriating.
It's fine. That's what we get for not reading the documentation.
Yeah.
What?
That's
We-
very
but-
interesting. Okay, so of
but
course it's not going to work because now we've changed all the environment variables to something that doesn't exist.
we didn't change the name. Oh no, we didn't. We just changed the. What?
Yeah, we changed things to point here. It's looking for a directory that doesn't exist, apparently.
But now it's 12, so somehow it got upgraded.
But the command you've just been running wants 11.7 for some reason.
Ah, okay, so
If you scroll back up to that command, let's read it in more depth.
wait, do we set the version here somehow? Yeah, 12.11.
Or
No,
12.1.
12.1, 12.1. That's not it. Brain looking for patterns.
Well, we don't have 12.1. We've got 12 and 12.2.
12.1, yeah. But if we do this and replace it with 11.7,
I think before you do anything, you should remove the
yeah,
environment variables that
yeah,
we just changed. Just remove them entirely.
okay.
Or,
Needs to be
get
updated,
rid
yeah.
of this from the path, yeah. I mean, actually, to be fair, that shouldn't matter because
True.
that's just going to append it to the... it's going to append it to the path anyway, but... and then the CUDA dir or whatever it was called, the CUDA home. I think just remove that and try
How do you remove them manually?
Ooh,
The export?
I might just export it to a blank
Yep.
string, which is not removing it. Can you just... Yeah, you know what? I don't know how you remove environment variables. This is a really basic thing that I should know. Unset.
Oh, unset.
Is the keyword.
Really?
Yeah. So just unset that. Yeah.
CUDA home. Whoa.
Oh, computers.
Okay, nothing says CUDA. Now,
Cool. Right.
12. No. Where is the CUDA here? 12.
12.1. All right.
CUDA repo. So let's replace everything that says 12.1. No, 530.
530. Oh, we need 535, don't we?
But how is 11? Okay. 11.7, right?
Yes, but we don't know that that version even exists.
Can
Yeah.
check.
Let's go to the actual place that we're supposed to get it from and see what we want, and then paste that URL in.
11.7.1. What's it? Yeah. So
I think what we need to
local
be doing
installers.
is we need to be matching the 535 because that's the thing. That's the drivers we have,
Yeah.
right?
True. So, and how did we check the drivers version?
We did. It was like some NVIDIA command. It's in one of the things. Hang on. It was. Nope. It was in the second one. Our DP. It's DP. It's D package. DPKG.
No worries. We broke it.
Oh, yeah.
We broke everything.
Okay. Right.
So it's fine. Don't worry about it. Now it can't find NVIDIA devices.
Right. Okay. Do we need to nuke this instance?
Maybe.
No. The reboot should fix it.
Yeah, for sure it will.
Right? We didn't get rid of the drivers. I don't think. I think we just...
Consciously, no. Maybe with
I think maybe the environment variable was important, so we unset it. Oh dear.
Yeah, probably. Good news is that we now can create these environment variables again.
Yeah.
Make them point to the 12th version.
Yep. Let's see.
That was 12 something.
Check the NVIDIA commands.
Wait, is it user local? CUDA. But that's not NVIDIA drivers. Those are the CUDA drivers. Okay, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
CUDA 12.2.
Right.
So let's do that here. 12.2.
Yep.
Export.
And we need to export, we need to add that to the path as well. The second one.
Yeah. Article. And now let's.
Oh, it's there. It's there already. No, that's CUDA.
Oh.
We need CUDA 12.2 though.
Mm-hmm.
You need to add that to the path.
12.
Man, computers.
People not reading the documentation properly. This is not going to fix it.
We have reached the 5 minutes where you said if we didn't get it working, we'd try something different. Do you want to try something different?
Well, now the thing is that if we broke everything, I'm not sure this instance is going to
recover from what we've done to it.
No, it is not.
I did say we were going to break things.
Yeah, you did.
That was part of what we promised from today's stream.
Once I'm going to create a new instance. Once again.
Right. Back to basics.
GPU, Ubuntu, called once again, and let's create the instance.
Don't forget to nuke the old one if you think it's not coming back, so that you don't hit your quota.
It's dead. Apparently we can create 2, but no more than 2, and no more than 200 gigs on the storage.
I mean, after the last hour and a half, I'm not sure we should be allowed to create any. I'll be honest.
Your instance will be free to. You will be free to add as much storage as you want on your instance. It's just a restriction that we have on this test account. Not ready yet. Ready.
Hey, host key verification.
Need to. Count. Yeah. Okay.
Ah, there you go.
So I'd say if we want to see something working, we should go with something that we know it works.
Yep.
Such as the aforementioned stable diffusion thing. Mm-hmm. We can give that a try.
Yeah, I'm game. I say as I'm not contributing like any. You're the one who's wrestling with all of this stuff.
I couldn't have gotten this far without your help. I don't know if that's positive or negative.
I've enabled this. I've contributed to the breaking of an instance. I love that though, because it's like, yeah, the cloud is so cool because I used to have this old laptop that was getting towards the end of its life. It was this Windows laptop, and I thought, you know what? Let me try and I tried to put Ubuntu on it, which is a really lightweight Ubuntu. Right, and yeah. I bricked the damn thing. I systematically, like unintentionally, but systematically went through and I ended up removing any way that it had of connecting to like the networks. I ended up like breaking its ability to connect to Ethernet in my attempts to get. So what it ended up being was that the network card that I think it's HP. I think it was an HP Pavilion that I had. What was it? I don't remember the exact laptop brand that it was, but the network cards that they have there do not play nice with Linux. Essentially, they have like something that like non-deterministically flips between 2 different ports on them, and Linux doesn't like this, and Windows and Mac are fine with it. Or I guess not Mac because it's not Mac, but Windows is fine with it. And in my process of trying to make it work with Wi-Fi, I ended up breaking its ability to connect to the internet at all. And the thing is, that was like, oh, I guess, I've just hastened the demise of this laptop. Like, the reason I was doing this to it in the first place was because it wasn't usable as a Windows machine anymore. It just, planned obsolescence, like it had just become unusable. But so it wasn't like a massive loss. But with this, it's like we can thoroughly break an instance and just be
Yeah,
like, okay, bye. Just get rid of all of the software layer on top of that hardware, or rather Scaleway does, and it's totally fine. You know?
that's truly fantastic.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember how many times I used to format my hard drives when learning how to do Linux.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn properly because I can't do an unzip command. I don't
Yeah.
know how to run this. Overwrite files, never overwrite, blah, 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 blah. So unzip file,
Yeah.
and D dash D is
Here, I guess. All right.
see,
Ah, yep.
Stable diffusion here. Okay, so it should have been that. Easy diffusion. Okay.
How to install and run. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell it's meant for general population because it
Yeah.
would have been named README if
Yep.
it was meant for developers. Please use a terminal and go to the Stable Diffusion UI directory, then run start. That's it.
That's it. Oh my goodness. Developer experience, man. The value of having something up and running that you can look at and make changes to, it just cannot be overstated.
Exactly.
That's one of the things I loved about the company I worked at before, Scaleway. It allowed you to just really quickly build web apps using Python and just have something that it made the process so much less abstract, and made it so much easier for someone who's fairly new to the ideas of programming even to
Yeah.
to make something useful.
And I've seen that there are so many nowadays UI, graphical interfaces for you to connect and chain different AI models and AI tools to add data to them or to prompt them.
Yeah.
And you use a graphical interface to connect them and
Yeah.
get something working that you can then copy the template as
Yeah.
code and
And then, as long
create.
as all of those abstractions are well designed,
Yeah.
obviously if they're like poorly designed and they're sort of, leaky abstractions, then that's going to actually hinder you as you want to go deeper into the thing and get more technical about it. But as long as they're well designed, then all it does is just make things more accessible and lower the barrier to entry.
Yeah, and it's useful not only for general public, but also developers, because as you mentioned, if you can have something up and running in a few minutes without
Hmm.
having to create many different instances
Yeah.
to have it working, then you can spend that time investigating more and digging into what makes this run, and then creating your own version of it, your fork, if you will, or using this on top of what you have already built in your
Hmm.
current application.
Yeah.
So it is installing packages. I saw I was going to install some CUDA stuff, I think, or at least NVIDIA drivers.
Ooh. Well, NVIDIA drivers doesn't necessarily mean CUDA, right? Like
Yeah,
this
exactly.
instance already has a lot of NVIDIA drivers in it.
No, this is a new
Oh,
one,
does it
right?
not? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know that you said it came with some drivers already installed,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that, yeah.
that
So
is
I
true.
assume those are NVIDIA.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's maybe an upgraded version,
Mm. Well, we'll see if it gives us the same errors. If it says can't initialize NVML again, I might cry.
but that will be a pattern. Then we are up to something.
No such
Something
file or
happened.
directory. Ah,
libgl. This is
interesting.
gl. Oh, so it's not using. Wait a minute. NVIDIA. Do we need to do something from NVIDIA? Right, okay.
I don't know if it's an NVIDIA problem.
No, it's a patch. I think it's
Yeah.
trying to use
Yep.
DL stuff, or at least Mesa. Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
Mesa drivers. Yeah, DL is web. Yeah, no, not applicable here.
Oh, very nice. Cool.
Why haven't they added this to the start script? I don't know.
Installation complete.
Now it's
Incredible.
downloading the model, Stable Diffusion.
Yeah, I feel like the developer experience wouldn't be complete without one error, but that is about as easy as errors get.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's just that you don't have this. Install it. You're good to go. Incredible. So Stable Diffusion is a generative image AI, right?
Yes. Yes, contrary to what we were working on here on the Falcon model that's used by H2O GPT, this one is meant for images. So you prompt it to create an image and you get the best approximation of what the computer thinks
That
you
would
want
look
it.
like. Yeah.
Actually, can we create prompts?
Ooh. I'm going to set
Prompt.
two AIs like talking to each other and see what they come up with. It would probably be either insane or just the most boring thing ever.
Generate a realistic image of a
A cat.
horse.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, no, horse.
Cat riding a horse
I saw a great TikTok of a cat riding a horse
on
the other day.
a
Spaceship. Oh, yeah, Jet. Ooh.
didn't receive enough input values. Okay. It wanted more.
Maybe our session timed out. Yeah.
So, a realistic picture, but it's a prompt, right?
Yeah.
Give me a prompt, and I probably need to zoom in, of or a realistic picture of a cat riding a horse.
I like this because now we're not even prompt engineering. We're prompt engineering for prompt engineering.
Yeah. No. I don't think that's gonna work, but who knows?
Let's see.
Okay, so it's apparently working and it's available on port 9000. Then just let me get my instances.
IP. Or not IP, but yeah, the URL for it.
Yep, 9000, right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. And it's not working. It is not working. And the reason.
Do you have to do something specific to allow port 9000 public access?
Nope.
Interesting.
Interesting. Can we change the port?
Let's see. Scripts on env start. Yeah. Where is it? What's it using to serve?
Maybe we can check here. Port.
That's 443.
Port. HTTPS to HTTP. No, can't be reached. Connection refused. Well, this is the 9. Nope. Not a certificate error or something. but there's no environment variable for that, right? They should have one. Config.json.
Let's have a look.
Inside scripts. So scripts. Nope. Config.json.
Well, they said remove it, so I wonder if that person was supposed to have it in the first place.
Invalid value for port. Where are they passing the port? Can we pass the port here? I don't think so. Or port 80. Nope. 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 Then let's just look for 9000.
Yeah.
Inside code. And I need to be signed up. Can you look for that from your browser?
Yes, yes.
Because I'm not using my regular browser.
Yeah.
For this. Web UI not accessible via LAN. There's a config.json. Okay. What if I created that config.json while you do that?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
cancel port.
On SD start, scripts on SD start has it. There's also a bat, but we're using the SH. So parameters JS.
Nope.
Yeah, there's in app.py, there's a listen port as well.
Or it's up to pi in scripts.
Yeah, it's on SD start.sh. And then it says ed bind port. And then that's where you set a default. If you just search for 9000, that's where it is.
Yeah,
There's
default
only one.
9000. Let's update that. This is, again, not something you should do, of course. But
So it is on line 100, if that helps.
80.
Oh, you got it.
There we go.
Yeah, that's one place that it is. Another one is in... There's
AD bind port, probably? No.
No. So in UI easy diffusion app.py.
UI easy diffusion.
No, not within scripts.
Right, UI.
Easy diffusion
Right.
app.py. Line 238. I don't know how to more easily. So it's the line you're looking for is port equals net.get.
Control G? No.
I mean, if you can search within this, then you're just looking for 9000. Yeah, there we go. And then one last place, it's in some JavaScript. And you search for 9000 in UI, media, JS, parameters.js. Media, JS, parameters. Yeah, there we go. Yep. And all that this listens to... Yeah, no, because that's just a comment. Where else is it? On line 205, there's something value equals 9000 somewhere, apparently. Huh. Yeah, there we go. That I think you might need to change. Right, and that's it. That should be everywhere that we need to change this. And of course, now all of our doc strings or comments are wrong, right? And it will tell you 9,000 in the printout that you're about to get, but it should be 80.
And I'm sure there was a comment in the README that
Oh
said,
yeah, no, there was. Yeah, I just
set this
didn't
environment
mention that. It was
variable.
in the contributing.md actually. Yeah, there's a
Wait,
the string 9,000 shows up in some hex codes. It shows up in the places we've changed and in a bat executable. But we're not running that. We're running we're doing it all through bash, so it should be fine.
It's doing something. Nope.
Incredible.
Easy
Why is
peasy.
networking actually the hardest problem? I wonder why it wasn't working on 9,000. Do you have an idea?
I have no idea whatsoever. It should work with any port. It's not restricted.
Like, that's definitely the correct URL.
It's actually a good question.
Like the current, that's not the URL for the old instance or anything.
Nope. Public DNS. Yeah, it is. HTTP YSL. Nope.
But check for port 80 or 9,000, I guess.
Well, 80 is the one that is loaded by default.
Right. Of course, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's so strange.
It means that it wasn't supposed to work. We weren't supposed to have any luck today.
I guess we've just been cursed by the AI overlords for sucking up too hard, I guess.
Maybe that was it. It was a bit too much. We can do one last attempt with a different UI.
Yeah, let's go for it.
In the end, these are only UIs that are interacting with the model. So it's a web interface on top of a program that uses whatever to communicate with the model to make it work.
And that model is hosted elsewhere.
In this case, it is uploaded somewhere else, but it is being downloaded to the instance, to the virtual machine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, everything was running locally, is running locally. Okay, we're in, and it's called Stable Diffusion Web UI. And then it says installation and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the blah, 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 I think is what got us here.
Yeah, that is that's the extra Python bit that I was talking about that allows you to do virtual env. Or like 2 hours ago or whatever.
Yeah. Got it. Oh wait, it didn't want us to clone it. So it wants us to download the SH file. Okay.
Did you do all of that, all 3 of those commands?
No, so this one is for Debian, this for Red Hat.
Oh, cool. I couldn't read the comments, so yep.
Yeah, it's small and not a good construct.
Nah, it's fine. It's my bandwidth. I'm getting a very mangled version of your screen share.
Press the probably. So apparently we weren't expected to clone the repo. Just run this shouldn't be run as root, and we are root. How do you make yourself not root without creating a new user?
I don't know. Let me Google it. This is me exposing my ignorance of, like, you know, I've never had to administrate these systems. Not run as root.
We should at least get an answer from ChatGPT.
Ha!
But everything check.
You can log out of the root account either by typing exit or using the key. Well, the thing is that you've SSH'd in as root, right?
And there's no other user.
Yeah, you need another
I'll
user
need to create
SSH in
it,
as.
and I don't want to create it. webui.sh. Check here in this file. Can we bypass it?
Yeah.
Root. Can run as root.
Oh yeah, just change that. Yeah. By default. But we can override that because we're smart and we know what we're doing.
For sure. We know what we're doing.
We know we're doing something stupid, but it's on an instance that doesn't matter if we completely ruin it, so it's fine.
Root. Okay, yeah. Can run as root? Yes. Can run as root. So we are again downloading.
Third time's the charm.
The good thing is that we have 2.5 gigs of throughput on the instance, so it doesn't take longer than it should. So this is PyTorch, and it's quite big.
Yeah.
Not sure why. I can't believe we haven't had any comments. A frustrated viewer saying,
telling us what idiots we are. Yeah.
Come on, just do things right. But if you know what we should be doing, if you know what the many errors were, just let us know. A lot of similar packages as one would expect. Pillow for managing images, NumPy numbers, ISO1, there are no IDNA.
That normalizer. So what? There's a great talk by my friend Dylan Beatty about there's no such thing as plain text, where he talks about like the history of UTF-8 and like where the character sets come from and what all the different. It's fascinating, like for such an integral part of like computing and using the web, and you know, it's a hot mess under there basically.
Can't imagine actually.
Oh, it's yeah. So there's one thing, and I'm going to misremember details here, but in certain parts of the Soviet Union, and I want to say Ukraine, actually, it is basically license plates there can only use a subset of the alphabet that they have. They only use letters that are both in the Cyrillic and Latin alphabet.
Right.
Yeah, so if you see a car license plate that of a certain format, only using quite a narrow subset of these letters that are in both, it might be a Ukrainian, I believe it's Ukrainian license plate. And it was because if you had a car and you wanted it to be the license plate to be valid both in and out of the Soviet Union at one point, or like the sort of early days after the Soviet Union disintegrated. Yeah, just all these kind of like weird human factors that have to be accommodated for in the way that we represent language and characters.
At least numbers got standardized, right?
Well, you know, is this thing a float or an int in different programming languages? If I just type 3. But if I type 3.0, and then is it a float or a long? And then, yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Okay,
Nothing
we
is
have the
simple.
model. Nope, and we are experiencing that firsthand. So we have the model now. Stable diffusion web
Running on
UI.
local URL, so that's localhost 7860. So we should be able to go to the URL and see that.
I think the issue may come from this, the actual URL, if they are actually using 127. We need to expose it as 0.0.0.
Oh, of course we do.
Yeah.
Right.
That.
Let's go and have a look at...
Nope.
I'm also looking, just in case you...
Path. Oh, but paths. Maybe where we define the port. Nope. Maybe let's try to find the 7860. Nope. Port. URL. Things used to work. I know because I have made this work. Actually, we tweeted about making this work in a few steps. No, it doesn't. So running on local URL, that's strange.
I wish I could find... So I'm looking at the code and it says something about like command ops.listen. And I don't know where you get that from. Modules.shared import command ops. Modules.shared.
So.
Oh,
Look.
I am sending you a thing that will tell you how to do the thing.
Great.
So the thing you're looking for is command line args, and you want to set listen. Use the -share to run online. Or you can do listen, and it will put it on 0.
Okay. Wait, set command line args. Windows, no.
Yeah, so you could put that listen into an environment variable if you wanted, or you could just have it there on the command line.
Okay.
So now it should be hosted at the public URL of our instance.
Yes, the path here changed. Something works.
Amazing! We got something running after only 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Show me a realist. Okay, let's.
Oh yeah, go copy that prompt that H2O GPT gave us.
Do we have it here?
No, it's
that's
one of the other windows.
prime numbers. No.
Yeah.
A realistic picture of a cat. Riding a
That's what we
horse
asked it
on a
for, and then
jet.
it gave us a thing, and it invented like the cat should be wearing goggles.
Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like that it's added in what it thinks we must have meant. The image should show a cityscape below, with the jet
this is not
flying
a
over
cat.
a river.
I mean, it's yeah, it's accurate, but it's not a cat.
It's not a cat. Yeah. It's not wearing goggles. I like this. This is much more like before I wasn't stable. What's the creepy image generation AI? I'm going to kick myself for not knowing off the top of my head what it's called. Stable diffusion is more like the earlier stuff that was coming out, I don't know, about a year ago. The sort of weird, creepy AI art. I love that stuff, the sort of surreal almost. It's not like give me a picture of Scarlett Johansson and it just creates Scarlett Johansson, but that photo never existed.
Yep. HQ high res. I don't know. I'm not good at prompting
I mean,
this,
see
but
what
we
it
need
gives us.
to. There was one. There was one. Realistic. All right. Well, this part is realistic.
They're not both flying on a jet, though, are they?
On a jet plane.
Yeah. We could ask it specifically for like an F-104 Lockheed or something.
No. I like this one.
I love that it's decided that the cats have to be like a person with a cat head. Look at its arms. Incredible. That looks like one angry cat with like a red panda tail. I love this. This is great. I could spend hours just playing with this.
Realistic, realistic. And yes, you can,
I
because
like that
now
you can
it's
see
yours.
it
Oh,
doing
wow.
stuff in the background. That's cool. I want that on a shirt.
Yeah. I'm going to save this for you.
I'm gonna set that as my Slack profile picture.
So we were able to make something work.
Yep.
We stumbled upon many issues along the
And
way,
the
mainly
only bit
because
of
of
the
us.
the only bit of the code we had to change for this one was saying let us run it as root because we're too lazy to go and make a non-root user on this instance.
And is there a command line for that? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Online argument. Yep. Root. Oh. Whatever. Yeah. For this one, we only needed to change one number.
And that is a
For the
sensible
others,
default.
for the other one, the first stable diffusion UI we tried, we should have changed the same setting to
Right.
expose it to the world and not run only locally. That was on us. So nothing
Nothing wrong
on
with that.
Stable Diffusion 2.5 by Easy Diffusion. And for the first one,
Drivers. I'm kind of tempted to go away, try and get that working, and maybe, I don't know, write up my own version of the documentation, see if I can improve that.
yeah, we can give it another try in the future. Maybe connect this with something else. Maybe do some PDF and visa requirements stuff.
Yeah, build something useful.
Exactly. But now we know that we have GPU instances available that we can leverage, and we can run our own AI stuff, and privately. I think that's the best part.
Yeah.
And
Like,
without paying for any extra licenses for OpenAI or whatever
yeah.
other tool or service.
Yeah, I still don't have an OpenAI account, even. Let alone pay for it. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people do, a lot of people getting a lot of value out of it. I just haven't got there. So
Picture no. Let's try a 3D render of a cat. A cat
It's
riding a
catting a
cat.
cat. Catception. I like that it's given it like a cape or something.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's meant to look like a superhero or like Zorro or... Yeah, I love it.
And the last one.
Ooh.
Okay. A cat horse.
Yep.
And
Amazing.
I think this is the best one to close the episode today.
Yeah. That's so weird. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so sort of surreal. I
So
like that we've
calm.
come full circle, is that, the internet runs on cat photos and now we've got the computers generating cat pictures for us.
It's amazing. It's amazing how far we've come in order to be able to generate even more pictures of cats.
Exactly. That is the pursuit. Like, we started this by asking H2O GPT, like, what's the meaning of life?
Yeah.
And I think we can close it off with, it's cat pictures. It's cat pictures.
Cats.
Yeah.
Indeed. But well, I think we managed to accomplish what's at least part of what we wanted to do. That was doing AI stuff with GPUs on the cloud. We broke things, as we
Oh
promised.
boy.
Indeed, we broke things, but we had something sort of working. No, it's completely working by the end. So I would say check, check, check.
Yep. We accomplished all our goals for this.
Yeah.
All right. Successful session. And another one where you and I have been let loose on the computers and we end up running for like 2+ hours.
It's fun.
Oh,
Why not?
absolutely. But yes, thank you all so much to everybody who showed up and watched. It's been a great time. We will be back on Friday. Well, you and Dan will be, Diego. I will not be there.
Yes, we will have updates, Scaleway
Yes.
updates.
Oh, in fact, I think it might just be you. I don't know if Dan is around, but
Yes,
doesn't matter. It'll be a great time regardless.
I'll be joined by team members, well, other teams within the company, who will be sharing with us some of the news or the releases that we have had in the last few months.
So many
Quite a
things
few.
have like gone into new beta or have gone GA or whatever. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be watching that episode back after the fact because I'll be at EuroPython. I think I'm actually on stage at that time, maybe. So I think it's a little earlier, but so I won't be around. But that should be a really good episode. People should tune in for that one, as they should every week, because we're the best. So thank you all so much for watching. It's been a blast, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.